Hey, special evening tonight. Welcome to everyone, to our listeners and followers. Have a special edition of Decanted, straight from Miami, Napa, all the way to Tuscany with our honoree tonight, Salvatore Ferragamo. I'm going to start off by thanking everyone for joining us tonight and introducing my partner in crime, Vanessa Conlon. Vanessa was the head of sales and marketing for several of Napa's most prestigious estates, including Arietta Wines, Dana Estates, and Realm Cellars. Previously, she was a retail buyer and wine bar director in New York. She's a president of the board of the Jameson Animal Rescue Ranch and holds a wine and spirits education, or WSET diploma, and was a recipient of the Nikki Singer Memorial Scholarship from the International Wine Center. Vanessa became the 52nd Master of Wine in the United States in February of 2020. Congratulations, Vanessa, and it's great to be back in the saddle with you here talking and on our favorite subject, and we have a super special and important guest to us tonight. So I'll let you introduce our guest of honor.
Well, thank you, Kamal. Always a pleasure to see you and to share some wine, even virtually. But you're right, we have a very special guest that it's a true honor to be part of this panel with. And at Wine Access, I have to say we're very proud and honored to offer wines from Elboro on our site. I'll certainly drop into the chat a link if anyone's interested in tasting these beautiful wines at home. We've made two of the three that we're tasting today available. So I would love to just read a bio of our esteemed guest, Salvatore Ferragamo. Salvatore Ferragamo is the first of Ferruccio Ferragamo's 6 children, twin of James, in Florence, and is the CEO of Elboro. Prior to assuming responsibility for the family's agro-leisure business as AD, Salvatore worked in the international division of KPMG Peat Marwick in Florence. He worked nationally and internationally in KPMG's audit, finance, and consulting departments. From 1990, he interned at Salvatore Ferragamo SPA in the marketing and production departments, where he planned marketing strategies for the company in Italy and France. He then decided to further his professional training with an MBA degree at New York University's Stern School of Business, specializing in finance and international business. In 1993, he joined his father, Ferruccio Ferragamo, in the long and challenging restoration of the ancient medieval village of Elboro and in the development of the wine business. His love for the Tuscan countryside and great wines drove him step by step to the creation of what Elboro is today. In 2012, Elboro became part of Relais and Chateau, and Salvatore was made ambassador with the responsibility of representing the excellence and prestige of the organization, which he does in spades. So Salvatore, it's such an honor to be here with you today. And tell us about your background there. That does not look like a Zoom created background.
No, this is absolutely live. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Kamal, for your kind introduction. I'm very excited to be live here from Tuscany, from our cellar that you can see behind me. This is where we age our best wines in our best barrels, our best barriques here at Elboro in Tuscany. So thank you very much for inviting me. Very excited to tell you a lot about Elboro and about what we do here.
Wonderful. Well, as I recall, Elboro has a very long and storied history. So could you tell us a little bit about the history of the property?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the property is today is quite large. It's about 3,000 acres in size. And right at the heart of the estate, there is a medieval village, which is 1,000 years old. Actually, we have documents that go back to 1039. So just not exactly 1,000 years, shy of 1,000 years of history. The property has changed hands with the many European noble families. So of course, the Medici family would be one of the families that we know of. Then we have the Grand Ducato di Toscana. We have the Austrian family, the Hohenlohe, the Aosta family, which bought the property from back in 1993. And there's just a lot of history. The property is really unique in the sense that you can actually live and breathe this culture, this history, as you're walking through the cobblestones of this spectacular 1,000-year-old medieval village transformed into a 5-star Relais Chateau hotel. So really a magical place to come and see.
Wow. And I read that your father referred to buying the property as an enduring act of faith. What does that mean?
Well, when we arrived at the property, we made the important decision to buy the property. In 1993, the estate was in a terrible state of disrepair. So it's a question of restoring the property, but faithfully restoring the property, taking advantage of all our artisans that we have, local artisans that we have here in Tuscany that can actually restore a property like the Borro faithfully to what it was 1,000 years ago. So for example, all our roofs have been completely redone, and we took all the roof tiles off, redid the roof and put the old tiles back on, just to make sure that we really don't have any impact whatsoever here on the property. The property is a magical place. It really, you can breathe the history. And our efforts, which is, I would probably say that every square inch here on the property, we have restored, we have turned over, we have maintained. And the challenge was really to make it seamless. So in a way that it has always been. This has been very important for us.
I wanted to ask you, what inspired you, Salvatore, to join Elboro wine business instead of the most glamorous fashion empire at such an early stage?
Well, Kamal, very good question. I come from a large family, and I am one of 27 cousins. My father has 6 children, as we mentioned. I have an identical twin brother called James. I have an Italian mother and an Italian father, so I have the Italian grandfather's name and he took the English grandfather's name. That's why he's called James. And we have some guidelines to follow to join the fashion business. So you have to have, if you want, some prerequisites, just really to ensure that the best talent joins the business, and not out of right just because you're born into the family, but because you have the right attitude, professional upbringing. So I did kind of all the pre-requirements with my twin brother, which were university degree, 3 years working experience with a company not related to the group, an MBA, and then I really had all the opportunities to join the fashion side. But in a way, I chose against it. I thought, I carry my grandfather's name, and he means so much for us. It means that we always, even though he's been long gone since 1960, we still talk about how his incredible achievements. And I was always inspired by this. And I thought, joining Ferragamo in the fashion, I'm sure that would be incredibly rewarding and exciting to be part of that. But I thought, why don't I build onto the family and contribute to the family in finding something new to do? And so I restored this property with my father, but worked very closely with him. And today I am very proud to say that I have completely restored the Borro and turned it into a property that guests can come and have a really authentic experience. They can not only have this cultural, architectural, historical experience of staying in a 5-star Relais Chateau in a hilltop medieval village, which is really unique. If you've seen the movie Chocolat with Johnny Depp, that gives you an idea of what this property is. But also the land has been put to work. We have completely transformed the land into organic farming. So we're certified organic farmers. And this is really a unique concept. So you have the historical element of the medieval village where you have a unique experience of staying there. And then at the same time with our chef, Andrea Campani, we take advantage of the land, and we have a lot of the produce which is actually grown on the property. First, of course, would be our wines here, but not only the wines. We have extra virgin olive oil. We produce our own vegetables. We have a very large vegetable garden. We vary the vegetable garden. Everything is grown seasonally, very, very important for us. We grow our own chicken, eggs, beef. As of last year, we started producing our own flour. So we're making our own bread, our own pasta, all made with organically produced wheat and spelt, pre-genetic modification, wheat and spelt, and organically made. So really a special property for which I fell in love. And this is why I'm not in the fashion business, and I am here.
Well, selfishly, I know Vanessa and I appreciate you took that path. And as I was mentioning earlier before the call, that I had the good fortune about 2007 when we were starting up, and you're one of our first interviews. And I actually did it on my own, and I was super enamored with your passion. And since that decade plus, I've been enjoying these beautiful wines. And so maybe we can let our people know what we're going to be drinking, what we have in front of us today.
Sure. Well, the first wine that we have is the Lamelle. Now, the Lamelle is our Haute Chardonnay. So this wine is produced in stainless steel vats. We don't do any malolactic and no aging in barrique. And I think you will find that this wine is really quite interesting, in the sense that there is none of this battery, oaky notes that sometimes Chardonnay is associated with. So you're going to find an incredible freshness in the palate. Then we're going to move on to the Petruna, which is our amphora wine, 100% Sangiovese, made in these very large amphoras, these clay pots, which is really the birth of wine. We say that wine was created about 8,000 years ago in Persia, and there were no barriques. It was all made in large clay pots. So interesting to see. And then finally, we'll have the Elboro Toscana, which is our flagship wine, the very first wine that we produced at the property back in 1999, the very first vintage that we bottled. And this is a blend of 50% Merlot, 35% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 15% Syrah. Full body wine, 18 months of aging in barriques. Just a spectacular wine.
Wow. Well, I feel like we should dive into these beautiful wines. I have mine already poured, so I'm ready to taste along with you. But I'm curious. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about the Chardonnay and how it is different growing in Italy and Tuscany, as I think a lot of people think of it as being Burgundy as its home, or even Napa Valley. So how is it different in this bottling than if people appreciate Chardonnay from those other regions?
Well, our growing philosophy at the Borro is actually divides into two concepts. One is a concept of organic farming, sustainability, and we have many different organic farming practices, and some of them are actually also biodynamic farming practices. But second is also a question of terroir. So we plant vines according to the wide diversity of soils that we have on the property. And this is a very interesting part of Tuscany, because we are northern part of Tuscany. We're just about 45 minutes south of Florence, right at the foot of the Apennine mountain range, where the mountains meet the valley of the Valdarno, which is the riverbed of the Arno River, the famous river that runs in through Florence and down into the Ponte Vecchio, underneath the Ponte Vecchio bridge, which I'm sure is the famous bridge everybody knows. And this is very important, because the 3,000 acres of land provides us with a wide diversity of soils. So we go from mountainous, rocky, dry types of soils which are actually ideal to grow our Chardonnay grape varieties, because you find rocky, but also some chalkiness, some limestone, you should say, type of soil. The altitude is ideal for more light, more ventilation, which are key requirements to make, to plant and to grow the Chardonnay grape variety in this case. So for us, it's really the answer is finding the best conditions for the grapes, and we had it for the Chardonnay, and so we went ahead with the Chardonnay in this case. I love this wine.
I'm loving it.
I was just going to ask your opinion on it, Kamal, because I think this is absolutely beautiful. It's so precise, you know, elegant, precise, focused, but very expressive to me.
You hit it on the nail on the head.
Yeah.
What I love, you know, Vanessa, Kamal, sorry to interrupt. What I love about the terroir of Elboro is this sense of minerality, or the slight saltiness that is actually find it throughout all our wines. Also, the red wines has this freshness on the finish. So yes, immediately I think you find these tropical notes of the Chardonnay. You have maybe some mango, papaya, some tropical fruits that come to the palate. But also interesting is the style of the Chardonnay. It's more like a Chablis style. So you have the citric note that comes through. And at the finish, you have this wonderful minerality, which complements the wine beautifully.
Very precise.
What, Salvatore? I totally agree. Salvatore, what are some of your favorite pairings with this Chardonnay?
Well, actually, I would say that the linguine pasta with clams, I think this would be the perfect pairing for this wine.
And you mentioned farming organically and biodynamically. Would you mind, for any one watching from home who maybe isn't clear on sort of the difference or why one would choose to farm organically or biodynamically, could you explain why you choose to do so?
Yes, well, there is a simple concept that when the sunlight hits the leaf, it activates the plant. And this process is called photosynthesis, that activates the plant to take the nutrients from the soil. So if you're using chemicals, which is, of course, a conventional farming method, those chemicals are actually reabsorbed from the plant through the roots into the fruit, and in very small amounts are then found, this is proven, in the glass that we drink. So they are, of course, very limited, very small amounts. And, I believe that wine today can also be made in a sustainable way. You don't have to use chemicals, especially in a region like Tuscany, where the weather is beautiful. We have fantastic summer. The fall is perfect. So we really don't have this huge need of doing conventional farming. In fact, in this part of Tuscany, there are local producers. We have reactivated an old DOC, which is called the Valdarno di Sopra. It's a DOC that Cosimo de' Medici back in 1716 created. And in reactivating it, we said, let's make it the first organic DOC in the world. And so with our about 20 local producers, we have this belief that we should only make wines organically. So this is something which is not only my property, the Borro, but it's something which is spread in this region, that you can make wines organically and make them sustainable. I think this is very important. The result on the wine also is really interesting, because when you are, it's pardon my terminology, but it's a bit like if you had a drug addict. You're giving him medicine, and he's hooked on it. And that, yes, maybe his performance are amazing, but he becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. And this is the same with the vine. Once you go organic, you'll see at first the vines has a difficulty to adapt. But then over time, you see that the root structure actually goes deeper down into the soil. The plant becomes more resistant by itself, which means, of course, using less products, less sulfur, and less products anyhow onto the vines. And the result in the wine is much more interesting results with much deeper, intense, more persistence on the palate type of wines.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah. Shall we move on to the Petruna?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so the Petruna is this wine that we make in large clay pots of Tuscany. And we are in a part of Tuscany where we have a region just outside of Florence called Impruneta, where we produce a lot of clay pots for pottery and other reasons. So, but the clay in this part of Tuscany is particularly good to make this large amphoras, these large clay pots. And in a way, we're going back to the birth of wine, as I mentioned before. Yeah. I believe that wine was created about 8,000 years ago in Persia. And the amphora is a very interesting container because the clay is porous, a bit like your skin. It actually has an interaction with the environment that you put the clay pot, actually even more porous than wood. And this is very interesting because it allows us actually to leave the skins in contact with the juice for 1 year without having problems of over extraction. This micro-oxidization that happens inside the clay pots really allows to have a beautiful expression of the fruit, but still maintaining that freshness, that beautiful balance, which is so important. Sangiovese is the grape variety, so our king grape of Tuscany. The Brunellos, the Chiantis are made mainly with the Sangiovese. And I think if you'll find that this wine on the nose, it has a typical floral notes, some dried flowers, violets. It comes through of the Sangiovese, some dried fruits and dried apricots, typical of the Sangiovese grape variety. But on the palate, you'll be surprised of the freshness. Again, this minerality is very typical, and it's coming through this beautiful freshness and depth. I sometimes like to describe this wine like a vertical dive into the fruit, and you're peeling away the different layers of fruit and the flavor of this wine.
I like that description. Yeah, what do you think, Kamal, of the wine?
I'm a big Sangiovese fan, and I love this element and effect of the clay, and it's kind of saying the minerality of it, very distinct through your properties and wines. And I think that's what makes it so unique and makes it even more pleasurable, just feeling that minerality in that little. It's amazing with the clay. Congratulations.
So, thank you, Kamal.
It is a beautiful wine. And I'm curious, Salvatore, you're talking about something like clay or amphora, which, as you mentioned, is sort of very ancient. But knowing that you and your family, you're always sort of on the cutting edge. So where do you find the balance then in terms of winemaking between sort of tradition and innovation?
Yeah, it's well, wine is an incredibly dynamic industry, and since I would say the big turn into the wine industry for us in Tuscany, in Italy, was really in the 90s, and we've started to adopt particularly new vinification techniques. So the amphoras, the clay pots, we have fantastic machinery which actually really improve the quality of the wine. You know, a property like Elboro is not interested in producing 1 million cases of wine. We want to really focus on the quality of our wines. So we have tradition, because of course the winery, the cellar is 300 years old, so definitely there's a lot of history and tradition in the walls. But also at the same time, we take advantage of technology. So for example, when we collect the grapes from the field, they immediately we collect them into small baskets, but then those baskets go into a refrigerated container to reduce the temperature of the grapes, which have been picked in September and they're being out in the field, exposed to the sun. So the temperature of the actual grape is quite high. So we reduce that temperature, which is very important. So when you do the crushing process, you don't lose the fragrance. But right after this, the refrigerated container, we take those grapes through a process of selection and destanning. And the first selection of the bunches of grapes is done by hand. But right after that, we go into a destanning machine where the stem is taken away and the single berries are sorted by a fiber optic sorter. And this is a fantastic machine that actually is incredibly precise and will read every single berry, the color, and if the color is not right, it will be discarded, so that the quality of the berries that actually go through our vinification process are at the top selection, at the top quality that our land can produce. And I think this is very important. This is where tradition and technology come together to really make incredible products.
Wow.
And in terms of pairings with this wine, what do you recommend or enjoy?
Well, you know, this you can see from the color of this wine, Vanessa, that it's a wine that has light body. It's fresh. So we're coming in spring. We have a moment of the year where we get this wonderful fresh pecorino cheese and the fava beans. And I like this as an, maybe an aperitif before lunch on a Sunday, outside a sunny day, to enjoy a glass of the Petruna with the pecorino cheese and the fava beans. I think that's a good pairing. Of course, the tradition, this is a wine that we prepare with first courses, with a pasta plate, maybe a spaghetti ragu sauce or something like that as well. But if I was to choose, I would go with the fresh pecorino and the fava beans this time of the year.
And what's behind the name?
Well, the Petruna is a name that actually is an ancient name that means clay. So it's a name connected to the vinification process of this wine.
Oh, very cool. Definitely enjoying the clay.
Yes.
It does. The wine has a beautiful energy to it. You know, it has a really beautiful sort of vibrancy also on the palate. You know, in addition to, of course, the beautiful aromas and flavors. I just think the feeling of it is so alive.
Well said, Vanessa. I agree that it does have this liveliness, this vibrance. We produce maybe 5,000 bottles of this wine, so very limited. It's for your wine collector, somebody that is looking to have something unique and to maybe surprise his guest. That will find it probably difficult to pinpoint this wine. Many of our guests have described this wine more like a Pinot Noir than actually because it has this energy, as you said, this lightness, this freshness. Very true.
Yes. I actually, I'm glad you mentioned Pinot Noir, because Kamal, when I first tasted this, I wondered, I know that, you're a Pinot Noir fan, if you found any of those sort of similarities in the glass.
Well, what I also loved, especially now, it's like I'm in the early mid-afternoon here. I find this wine is amazing for this time of day. Just the perfect, the right texture. And I felt a little bit of the lightness of that. So it was super appreciative of it right now, and it led very well from the Chardonnay. That's great.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kamal. The Chardonnay is.
Yes, and Kamal, I think that you got a head start on the third wine here.
Yeah, as you know, I'm a big Elboro fan, so I took advantage, let it breathe for a little bit, opened, and.
Well, the third wine, Vanessa, is you can see from the color the completely different wine. So this is the Il Borro Toscana label. This is 2016 vintage. I believe you also have a 2016 there, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, this is a very different wine. This wine is made from 50% Merlot, 35% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 15% Syrah. The wine is full body. You can see from the color of this wine, it's incredible inky, dark purple, red reflections. The color of this wine is very intense. And immediately you find that on the nose, the bouquet is very powerful. It's persistent. It has a lot of intensity. You're led towards the dark chocolatey notes, red and blackberry flavors, interesting spice. You have sweet tobacco, leathery notes. It's just a very full body wine. A lot of structure to this wine. If you join me in tasting the wine. Again, you'll find this is reconfirmed on the palate. You find this wonderful fullness of flavor that really wraps your palate with this incredible wine. And I have to say, maybe it's difficult for me to say that I have a favorite, but I would say my wines at the Borro are a little bit like my children, but I don't have favorite children. My 3 children, I love them all the same. However, it comes down to wine. The very first wine that we produced on the property with the 99 vintage. So it's a special wine. It was a moment of rebirth of this part of Tuscany. We had to replant all the vineyards here on the property. And so it's a special wine for me. A great vintage, 2016. In fact, this wine got 96 plus points from Robert Parker.
Congratulations, yes.
And over time, it's drinking better and better. So I'm really enjoying this wine. I hope you are enjoying the wine too.
Oh, I'm loving it. And I had the good fortune of being able to order some from Wine Access. So Vanessa, when you look up at my prior order history, I've been a big lover of this Elboro. So, and this one's just drinking so beautifully, and as structured as it is, there was an explosion just tasting it. I was like, Elboro's Elboro. So, congratulations. And I could actually feel and understand how well the fact that you handpicked the first set, and then you have the technology to look at each berry to choose the most premium one, so you can taste the attention to detail and the craftsmanship and the love that you guys put into the product. And that's that's kept me from meeting you and seeing your passion over a decade ago, and us starting and building our business and understanding the type of craftsmanship and time and things that you need to put into to one day come out with a product at this level. So as I was saying earlier, super honored and humbled to be able to share this with you. And it feels like we're almost there with that backdrop, because that definitely is throughout this past, I don't know, Zoom culture of the last year. Plus, I've seen a lot of interesting backgrounds, but they've typically been JPEGs or photos. Your real situation is better than any photo that I've ever seen. So,
indeed.
Yeah, it is a special place. Absolutely, it's a special place, and I really hope that once, I know you are way ahead with your vaccines, and hopefully you'll be able to travel soon, and then we'll catch up with our vaccines, and you can come and visit us in Tuscany and visit this place in person, because it really is a place to see.
Is it open currently, the hotel?
No, we were going to open, but then we were back into a lockdown, so we had to postpone our opening. And for the moment, we are going to open on the 1st of June. And I'm confident that that's going to be our official opening date, remain like that.
Well, I can't wait.
Yeah, good news, at least from here, living in Miami, and we've pretty much been open throughout the pandemic, and they've been very efficient in the vaccination process. So it's been a good sign to see the progress that's being made here. And my 2 first trips looking to go to Napa and Tuscany. So I haven't had a reason to leave in the last year. So I haven't been on a plane since 2019. And my last trip, one of my last 3 trips was to Tuscany, and I was at your sister resort at Castellano del Bosco. So, and my second to last trip was Napa.
We must organize on the next time you come to Tuscany, we will stop by the Borro.
Oh no, I would definitely do that.
Yeah. I have a serving question. I know that Kamal mentioned he opened the Toscana, the 2016 Elboro in advance to kind of let it open. Is that what you would recommend? Do you recommend decanting, opening in advance, or just opening and pouring?
I would recommend opening at least a couple of hours before. If you have a decanter, even better. But what I also always say is very important, the stemware that you have. The wine is, it breathes in your glass. So twirling it, making it breathe over time, and seeing the evolution of the grapes over the course of your dinner is really interesting. The evolution of the wine over the course of a dinner is what I always say is important is the serving temperature. So make sure that the wine is always kept in a cool place, away from direct sunlight, possibly a little humidity, so that the corks are preserved, and the wines will age beautifully. I think this is very, very important. That's
Thank you for that advice. I'll post again in the chat a link if you would like to try these wines and are watching from home. We do have the Chardonnay and the 2016 Elboro Toscana that we just tasted, available at Wine Access. And I know we have a beautiful cooking demonstration coming up soon. So I did also want to encourage, if anyone has any questions, to post it in the chat, and we can address them in these last couple minutes before we go to the cooking demonstration. But I have a question about sort of fashion and wine. So I guess, Salvatore, do you find any sort of parallels with staying up to date with trends in fashion and sort of staying up to date with the evolving tastes of consumers and wine?
Yes, absolutely. There are some similarities. There are, I believe, mainly 2 similarities. One in style of the wines, and this is today we are seeing that the style of the wine is favoring more wines that speak about the fruit, about the region, and yes, but I'm talking about, of course, full body wines. Yes, aging in barrique, but the barrique is very important that it's balanced. It must not cover the wine, which maybe in the 90s was a little bit less so. We're just crazy about using barriques, and it was just very important to have more oaky type of wine. So today we're going towards more of an elegance of wines, but I'm sure this will change over time. Now, the second aspect is in producing wines. I think you are, especially at this level, it's an industry of details. And this is very similar to the fashion industry. So you're talking about so many details, and so much effort is really driven towards the quality of this product. And so for that reason, I believe that this is also part of the luxury industry. For sure.
I wanted to ask you, We heard a little bit about your vino and art, and with the private art collection, and that art is a very important part of your family's legacy and your integration of art into the winery.
Yes, we have actually in the cellar, part of our wine tasting is in front of a Picasso, a Monet, Borro, a Dürer, just to name a few. And I think this is wine and art, I think go hand in hand. You know that wine is transformed by man into products which are incredibly varied. Wine left by itself turns into vinegar. So wine is really is culture. This is such an important concept. And here at the Borro, we have the opportunity of visiting the winery, sipping the wines, but also sipping the wines in front of this beautiful art exhibition that we have here on the property. I always also think that wine producers like myself talk way too much. And so this, the art exhibition upstairs is a nice break from the overload of information.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, something I'm looking forward to definitely checking out, as art is a big part of our lives and our platform as well. So super appreciative that you've done that.
Thank you, thank you.
And what would your ideal food pairing be with this wine?
Well, I went to New York University. I lived in America. I went back to my MBA. So I love US prime beef. So a fantastic ribeye steak would be a great pairing. It's a hearty, full body red wine, which has this really powerful tannic extraction. And the tannins, you know, this sensation of this gripping sensation you have on your palate. Those are the tannins. Work particularly well with food that have a fatty or oily base type of food. So this is a pairing that I would definitely go with this wine. I also have a secret pairing. I don't know if I should share this with you.
Oh.
A bit, how should I say, a little sweet tooth. So I love chocolate.
Oh.
And especially a dark chocolate souffle with this wine, I think is wow. I've found it a great pairing, but that's wow. Very personal, so I don't know if it's going to be enjoyed by everybody.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, one of the great things that I love getting my wines from Wine Access is this understanding the story behind it, and they've done such a great job in educating us as consumers. I had the good fortune of meeting you early and falling in love with your passion and your product, and I've carried on my enjoying your product for the last decade plus. And I love getting from Wine Access the temperature control box, as well as the story behind Elboro and what you guys have done. But this actually even further opened up my eyes, and I'm super, super looking forward to being able to one day come and visit and see the real thing. But I want to just give a special shout out to Wine Access for being the best in the game. Congratulations on the Michelin star official partnership, that they're now the official wine merchant of Michelin. And you guys just do a super, super amazing job in delivering Elboro to us. And we posted the link of the two wines, and which ones are available, Vanessa?
La Mele and the Elboro 2016 Toscana. So the first wine and the third wine that we tasted today.
Some beauty. So I highly, highly recommend to anyone that if you haven't tried this gem before, definitely get Wine Access. And as I mentioned, they are the best in the game in getting you the wines and explain to you what's behind the wines, and also a card that lets you talk about the experience, that which I've saved numerous one of those from the great times we've had.
Yes.
And congratulations on the 96 points
yes.
on that. So I just wanted to take this moment to thank you guys. Salvatore, it's a huge, huge honors to reconnect, especially in this format, in this crazy times, that the light is at the end of the tunnel, seems to be getting brighter. Over here, as I mentioned, we've been opened up, and I'm looking forward for the same thing for you guys out there when we can come and visit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kamal. Thank you, Vanessa. and incredible support from One Access has been a fantastic partnership for us. And I'm just very glad that we have this technology that we can connect live from our winery here in Tuscany directly with you in the US, and until we can see each other in person in the near future. Thank you again so much for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to talk about Elboro. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have a super special surprise with your sister coming on board. And so for everyone, please stay on because the party is just starting and continuing with the cooking with the sister. So thank you very much, Salvatore and Vanessa. Once again, Wine Access. Thank you for being so great at what you guys do. So we're now going to move on with the special demonstration with Vittoria Ferragamo and Laura Scheffler, our executive editor. Thank you, and looking forward to welcoming them on.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kamal.
Thank you, guys.
So like Kamal said, we have a treat in store. Vittoria Ferragamo is going to be joining us shortly. And Vittoria joined the Elboro board in 2013 and is responsible for the Equestrian Center, all the special projects dedicated to sustainability and organic agriculture, together with her brother. And she also takes care of the beehives there, the breeding chickens and hens, and the extensive organic vegetable garden. And lastly, she oversees the production of the organic extra virgin olive oil and any organic related projects, which is kind of perfect because it's Earth Day. So hopefully we have Vittoria here joining us with Elboro Chef. Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody. All of the followers of Sport Living. It's such a pleasure to be here with you tonight. And I introduce our chef, Andrea Campani. So I'm going to be learning a little bit about cooking tonight. So that's fantastic. And we have wonderful ingredients here in front. And Andrea is going to make his usual magic.
Thank you, Vittoria. Thank you very much. Hello, Laura.
Hello.
Thank you very much for this great opportunity. And I'm very excited to show everyone our fantastic cuisine. So, Vittoria, if you would like to help me, I will be more than happy.
It will be a super pleasure. So I can also learn. I'm always trying to understand all of Andrea's recipes because I'm a huge fan, of course. Well, so what are we doing today, Andrea? Sorry.
What are we cooking today?
We wanna go. We have two recipes. We wanna go in one way. We're gonna go very deep in the Tuscan tradition. We are going to cook the cantuccini, the fantastic cookie with almonds, and then we are going to show one of our new dish for the next summer. So we are going to have some tortelli stuffed with ricotta, and then we will have a green pea soup. So I'm very excited because we're going to show our new fantastic ingredients. We have some fantastic flour and fantastic eggs from our farm, directly from our farm. So
yes, fantastic.
Let's go. We're going to start with the dessert first. It's a little bit longer, and then that's it.
We're gonna start from the dessert, so we have the time to cook it and see the finished effect, and then we will move on to the tortelli, which, yes, as Andrea was saying, we're very proud to say, are entirely made with the Borro products. So maybe we'll go into that more later when we're actually have our hands in all of them.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Let me show. The cantuccini, I already said it's our traditional recipe. It's very easy. We just have some butter, and then it's a very, very easy recipe. We just need to mix everything together. So we have some soft butter.
How long have you kept that out of the fridge now?
It's at least 1 to 2 hours.
Okay.
It's a very
not too soft.
No, not too soft. Very creamy. I'm gonna mix it directly with the eggs. If you would like to add
what
legs.
should I do?
Full legs.
Full legs.
Inside.
Ready, steady, go. Yeah. One. Should we do one white and one red? Super. We have two varieties of chicken here at Borro. And in fact, one is a white chicken and the other one is a red chicken. They're both from Tuscany. The white one is called Livornese, and the other one is called Rossa Toscana. And it's fascinating how they make each one the eggs of their color. So the white ones will make the white eggs, and the red ones will make the red eggs. And then we mix them up.
I already had some sugar, some baking powder.
Fantastic. Okay.
Some lemon zest.
Okay.
And some orange zest.
Super. Just a bit. Not too much.
Not too much. Not too much. I want to just mix the sugar, the eggs, and butter all together, and then I will add the flour.
Okay.
Tonight we have this fantastic flour from our grain. Yes. So I'm very excited to try.
Yes, fantastic. No, we have to make so many recipes. This is our last product, actually, because our vegetable garden started in 2015, which was the first year where we actually became certified organic, the whole Borro. And just lately, just in the beginning of this year, we've launched our latest products, which are made from our own grains. So we have two varieties of spelt. We have einkorn and the other one,
the spelt flour.
The spelt flour, yes, absolutely. And then we have grano tenero, which is ancient grains, and then also grano saraceno, which is buckwheat. And from these, we have our own pasta, our own flour, our own puffs in two different kinds. So here we're going to be trying the flour of the ancient grains.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It's
okay,
perfect,
yes.
perfect. I was thinking about the grano saraceno because I'm excited to. We have this big challenge this year because we are going to make the bread, our homemade bread with grano saraceno. That it's with no gluten inside. So
fantastic.
It's great. What is fantastic with these ingredients? Every time is a new challenger like this recipe tonight. I just realized that we need a little bit more eggs because the flour just become a little bit harder. So
one more?
Yeah, just one more. Fantastic. Thank you, Vittoria.
Thank you. Fantastic. It's coming together nicely, slowly, yeah?
It
needs a bit of work, yeah?
Okay. And then just at the end, I like to have the almonds because I don't want to break the almonds. So that's why I have that at the end.
Because the original recipe is with the whole almonds.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Fantastic. Look at that. What a lovely color.
This is making me hungry.
Yes.
Is this a traditional dessert?
Sorry, Laura?
Sorry?
Is this a traditional dessert? Or something that
Yeah, it's very traditional. You know, the cookie that we are going to dip in the Vinsanto wine at the end.
Andrea has an amazing manuality. It fascinates me every time I see him, either making the pasta or making biscuits. It's just
this is great, like that. I just need to make maybe 3 cylinder.
Yes.
Okay, like that.
Okay.
And then we can go to cook. Let me prepare the pan.
What can I do?
Yes.
I'll just hold it. Super. Okay, and you cut them after?
Yeah.
After they're cooked?
After. That's why we call biscotti, because we are going to cook 2 times. The first one,
interesting.
the whole here, and then when we cut, we cook again. We can cook again.
I never knew that.
Me neither, actually. Very interesting.
Not really.
Okay.
So fast too.
The oven, we use 180 Celsius degree for around 20 minutes. And then we will check, and then we decide if it's need more time, we cut, and then we will dry in the oven again.
Fantastic.
Let me wash my hand.
Yeah, Andrea's gonna leave us for a second. He's gonna go and wash his hands. And he'll be back straight away.
So are all the ingredients that you are preparing with all from Elboro?
Yes, for the pasta, they'll be entirely from Borro. So we have the flour and the eggs to make the pasta. Then we have our green peas. No, actually, the ricotta is not from Borro. We strive to make our own cheese, and we have a project. Actually, this cheese is from a local shepherd that Andrea works with. He always wants to work, if it's not with Elboro products, with local small producers where they can meet the quality that we're looking for. And I think this year, more than ever, given everything we've been through and how much we really believe in sustainability and the produce of Borro, I think Andrea is going to put his plates and his dishes in that direction. Am I right, Andrea?
No, you're completely right. We say that it's like, for a chef, it's like when the dream comes true. You know, you have the opportunity to cook with all the ingredients that you see from the beginning to the end. So that means that comes for us, everything can be customized. Mm-hmm. So I will have my green bean, I will have my bean, I will have my eggplant. So yeah, it's really honestly, it's the dream that come true for us.
No, well, for everybody, even to see what you do is amazing.
And the most exciting thing is that you can have everything at the right time. Mm-hmm. That makes, you know, you have to, you can cook with the most fresh ingredients in the really right time. That's for me, it's the secret of our cuisine, really.
Fantastic.
Yeah, let's go with the main course. So
super.
If you would like to help me, we have to separate the eggs.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the main course.
This main course is a new dish for us that we try already between us, but it's like that's what I like to be should be our signature dish, because there is this very light green color from our green pea, and then we will have the pasta made with just our ingredients. That for me it's like, you know, fresh, crispy, genuine, authentic. So that's why I'm very excited tonight. So we start with the pasta. I use this. Hold on. It's a little bit rich pasta because we are going to use just the yolks. Let's say for 500 grams of flour, we are using 15 yolks. So it's pretty rich. With these eggs, it's a little bit easier because it comes very yellow. The color will be fantastic at the end. And the texture will be a little bit elastic, but not tender, like the fresh pasta comes usually. This pasta will be a little bit more, not crispy, but you know,
crunchy.
Crunchy. Perfect. Thank you.
No, sure.
Okay, a little secret. I had to the eggs a little bit of white vinegar that helped me to make the pasta a little bit more elastic. Some salt. Oil.
Our chickens have a live free range. They always have a fresh pasture to graze on, and together with running water for them to drink, and everything that they need for them to sleep, for them to make their eggs. Regularly, there's this rotation system, and I think this is why the eggs are particularly tasty and have this fantastic color, because of the richness of their food and the vitamins that they can get through that.
You have it all there.
Yeah, it's they're actually also in a 5-star hotel. They have these wonderful wooden huts, and you know, it's a pleasure to see animals, you know, in any case treated well. Absolutely.
I love also the way how we manage the farm of the chicken. You know, they move in different areas, so they don't finish all the richness of the soil.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's the particular kind of earth where they can dig in so that they can clean their feathers, and so they have all their little rituals, and it's fun to learn about it. I actually learned about it here at the Borro with the people near me that help me in these projects, experts, and it's I learn something every day. It's very, very fascinating, I have to say.
Oh, I just need a little bit of more oil, please.
In the center?
Yeah, thank you.
Now I see you've got wine there. What would you pair with your dish?
Sorry, could you say that again?
You've got some wine there. So what would you pair with this dish?
I think I would pair the lamelle. I'm a huge fan of lamelle. I adore its minerality, its freshness. So definitely I would go for this one. Absolutely.
That's
I have to say, I am a huge fan of petruna as well. I'm a fan of all of them, but maybe even petruna could be very interesting with this dish. Petruna, I think, well, probably Salvatore, I'm sure, explained it much better than me. But the process of the petruna makes it so fresh, so mineral, and so many flavors come out. And it's been interesting, I think, for us through time to discover new pairings that we can make with this Sangiovese grape vinified in this way. So definitely, I would try this one too with this dish. Absolutely.
Will be fantastic. If you maybe we can have a little bit more salt at the recipe. We can have, for example, some tomato that will combine perfectly with the petruna. We had a very nice tasting at the restaurant because you know the Sangiovese enough for make explore a completely new combination with the food, because you know the Sangiovese grapes make us think about heavy food like in Tuscan. With the petruna we had a very great combination, for example, with the papal pomodoro.
Oh, fantastic!
That's another signature dish in Tuscany and at Elboro in particular.
Fantastic! It's perfect for me because I love vegetables, and so I can have a white wine, a red wine that's perfect with the vegetables. So super, because as you were saying, with the tomato, it works very well. Fantastic.
Okay, we talked for 5 minutes and we are ready with the pasta. So
wow,
it's everything. It's easy. I need to have some secret to don't make.
Yes, really.
I don't want to make it too simple.
Yeah. I'm sure if I try, everybody will understand.
You offer cooking classes at Elboro?
Yeah, we do. We love to do it. For us, it's a fantastic opportunity to meet people, but for me, it's like a big honor because, you know, I can share with many people from all around the world our idea of the kitchen, of the cuisine, sorry, our idea of gastronomy and our culture too.
What are some of the other exclusive experiences you can have at Elboro?
What we like to do is make something very traditional. We will cook papa al pomodoro, ribollita. We will have some guancia chicken, beef cheek stewed in our grapes. Something that gives us the opportunity to talk about the origin of the recipe. That for me, it's a very important thing. It's a moment where we can share our culture, and I really love that.
Me too. I think it's so interesting how you could talk about the farmers and why they used to eat that kind of dish in that moment of the year.
Okay, the pasta is ready.
Great.
I just need to wait, okay, the regular time I should leave this in the fridge for at least 1 hour, but tonight everything is special. So we will do very fast, just, and then we can move in the fire. I love to show how we cook the green pea and this sauce.
Fantastic.
Maybe we change.
We switch. Fantastic. I can smell the tantucci already. They're already smelling fantastic.
Let's check because comes nice. Okay. I like to blanch a little bit the green pea in the boiling water. Very fast. I want to keep all the green color or the crispy from the vegetable. When you have this fantastic vegetable, very fresh, you don't need to cook too much. It's better to keep the freshness. And then in the pan, I will heat a bit of extra virgin olive oil and stew some shallots. I prefer to use the shallots with the green pea because it's better combination with the sweetest flavor. If you like, you can use also garlic or gold onion, for example. But shallots make a little bit more sweet.
I think it's interesting to say that sometimes with the cooking courses, Andrea will take guests to the vegetable garden to pick the vegetables that will be used for the recipe. And this is always a wonderful experience because there's a learning experience even there, how to pick the vegetables in the vegetable garden and to see the whole procedure, of actually picking the vegetables, taking them to the kitchen. It's just fantastic contact with the earth. And
it's a great opportunity because you can really understand how a dish born, because when you see the vegetable in the garden, you realize that, for example, you have two different tomatoes, you can do something with the first one, something different, something else with the second one, and you realize why you chose one or the other one. So this is what there's many things I like of this job. This one, it's one of them. Yeah. You can smell it's already very elegant, very sweet. Yes. I keep the fire low. I don't want to fry. I don't want to make a bitter taste. Okay. The water is ready. Just Pleasure. Very, very quickly. We are talking about, yeah, maybe 1 minute, no more. If you want to keep this green color, if you want to make, if you have time, you can make cold in water and ice. So I prefer to add directly in the pan. Don't cook too long. If you don't want to have like brown color, for example, sometimes, you know.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Wow, it's smelling fantastic.
I love stuff.
I always tend to burn the, the onion, so I've learned a lot already.
I wish we could smell at home. It looks amazing.
It is fantastic.
Smell fantastic. Believe me.
Yes. Yes.
Is there a secret to Tuscan cooking?
Sorry.
Is there a secret to Tuscan cooking?
I can tell you my secret. My secret is to love what you are doing. But technically, you have to choose always the best ingredients. I don't like to try to mix too much ingredients together. I prefer to have one ingredients, but this one has to be the best one. This is my secret. And then a lot of respect. Really, this is very, very important. You know, you have to, if you cook with respect, your food will be always really amazing. Now I hit the fire. 1 more minute. I had some 2-3 mint leaves. We keep the water because I will use later to make the cream, and I will use also to cook the raviolis.
Fantastic. So they do have a little bit of the taste of the green tea.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wonderful.
And then we don't, you know, throw away too much water. It's
in fact, it's so fantastic with Andrea because from the beginning, when we started our relationship, we realized that we were sharing the same values about sustainability and respect. And so really we help each other in this path. It's fantastic.
How important is sustainability to you and to the resort?
Very, very important. I think every new project that we think about, that we study, the element of sustainability is always one of the first ones that we address. Today, we try and do everything sustainable, and all the products that we have are made with the organic certification and by the organic rules. And actually, we even go further than that because we want to respect nature and aim for the best quality and for the really authentic taste. So we will use various even biodynamic methods. We will follow the cycles of the moon. We will do something that is called soveshi, where we plant a variety of cereals and legumes and flowers to enrich the soil and allow the soil to breathe. And various other things. Even we will use herbs and teas, tisane, so herbal teas, let's say, for various procedures that we need to do in all our agricultural productions. I'm thinking of the vegetable garden right now. And also the use of other insects. I remember in the vegetable garden at a certain point, we had these small little insects that were similar to lice. And so we used another animal, actually the ladybird, another insect, to take care of them. So we do really, really aim for sustainability at 360 degrees.
You're welcoming guests back in June 1st, is that right?
Yes, correct.
So when you do, will the guests be able to have any part of visiting the garden, or, you know, picking their own ingredients, or doing anything of that nature in regards to sustainability?
Absolutely, we do. Yes, we organize visits of the estate where it's possible to see all our productions. So going through the olive groves, the vineyards, visiting our cows, the chickens, the horses. We also have many horses here, 60 at the moment. And so we try to communicate in this visit our philosophy, talking about all our activities, not only the agricultural side that people will be seeing and experiencing, but also how that collaborates or meshes with the restaurant and the hospitality. We always try to put something in the rooms, explaining this, and maybe a gift or some welcome to say, when you come to the Borro, it's also something good for the planet somehow, because here we do have a negative carbon footprint. This is the kind of property we are, and so for us that has an important value that we want to communicate.
It sounds like a destination that people are 100% going to want to be visiting post-COVID. Like the first trip post-COVID, when you can travel again, that's where they're going to want to go, is to visit you.
Well, it will be our pleasure. It'll be our pleasure, really, because we can't wait to welcome guests. We've been missing them, absolutely, in this time. We've kept working and kept restoring, and so we can't wait to welcome people and show them around and allow them to experience what we believe in through various activities that we offer as well. From sports to truffle hunting to wonderful bicycle rides in the property and outside the property. Right here, we are at the feet of one of the main chains, hill chains in Italy. And so it's fantastic to explore up there, the Prato Magno. And we can do all of this from here, organize trips to the nearest cities, Florence, Arezzo, various things.
And you have a spa on property as well. So do you incorporate organic things, like say from your garden, into things in the spa?
Not yet, but we have that in mind as well. One of our projects, let's say, to enlarge the vegetable garden is to have a herbal garden, and we would love to make with those herbs special oils or perfumes. That's something unfortunately we're not doing yet, but we would love to start, definitely.
That sounds incredible.
Thank you so much.
What is Chef doing over there?
Chef is busy, huh? Let's take a peek.
You leave me alone.
I know,
I'm doing everything by myself. We are almost ready with this is the green. It's already made, very, very easy, quickly cooked. So we have this fantastic green color.
It's a fantastic green color. I don't know if we want to show it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, what do you think? I think we need to show this. It's just amazing.
Oh, beautiful. A perfect Earth Day meal or color.
The pasta, now it's time to prepare the stuff for the ravioli.
Great.
And then it's time to work with the pasta. I'm a little bit worried. As you mentioned, this ricotta comes from, we cannot call anymore supplier. It's already a friend. This ricotta comes from Haute, that is like 2 minutes from here, and is a fresh sheep ricotta. And I'm going to add some pecorino, aged pecorino, so we have the same milk, two different production. Sweet, fresh, and light flavor from the ricotta, and a little bit of a salty and a little bit spicy taste from the pecorino cheese.
Oh, interesting.
Nothing else. We just mixed the two cheese together.
And what you added, the green was basil, or?
I have basil tonight, but I love to. We can add also thyme or chives if you prefer.
Nice to have the alternatives.
Yeah. All the recipe have always an alternative. You know? It depends how you feel with the recipe.
Absolutely.
So I don't like to give strike ingredients.
Can we zoom in on the bowl?
This is ready like that. I don't want to blend it because I like keep the original texture also inside of the ravioli.
Fantastic. So you want to see?
Beautiful.
So it's not too blended together. It's still a bit.
It's just mixed,
yes,
because
just a little bit.
if you know the ricotta, if you remember the texture of the ricotta comes a little bit browny.
Brownie, yes.
So I like to have the same texture inside of the ravioli.
Fantastic.
This is the hardest part.
I know. I'm
gonna please.
Give you your space.
And a question that I'm getting from a lot of viewers is, where can they get the recipe? And I'm happy to tell you that I'm going to share chef secrets on hauteliving.com. Tomorrow you will be able to get the recipes to these dishes. Sorry to share your secrets.
Super.
This is something that I learned. I can say here in the last 3 months. I'm just joking, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You're
not gonna believe that.
This is not a Tuscan traditional preparation. It's more from Emilia Romagna. But you know, when something it's nice and you love to do, why not? So we try to make Tuscan from another country. Something I like from another country. I like to do it in my way.
Fantastic. So it should be. Is almost all the pasta in the restaurant handmade? 80%, because I also like to use the dry pasta. We are in Tuscany, but we are in Italy, so how can we don't serve spaghetti, for example? Absolutely impossible.
And then Vittoria, this year we cannot use our pasta.
No.
We will have the pasta from Borro with our grain. With the spelt.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a very exciting season.
Yes.
Now, how thin do you want that to be when you're creating that dough? Sorry, Laura, sorry. When I stuff the ravioli or tortelli, I like thinner. Because you know when you stuff the pasta comes a double layer. If I make we have this traditional pasta called the pappardelle. I love to make a little bit thicker. Actually, thicker than usual. I love thicker. When I have a nice dish of pasta, I love to taste the pasta too. So that's why I make a little bit thicker.
When the flour is of the right quality, I think it's fantastic to really taste it.
We should see the hand from the other side. So almost, almost.
It looks very elastic.
It's very elastic, but it's a strong pasta. It's a strong pasta. It's fantastic.
So the flour also is doing its job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You make my job very easy. Let's try to make some tortellini. Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wow.
The problem is that we need like 12 for portion, so we will make a little taste, a little taste tonight. What we have to do, we need to make a little bit faster, otherwise the pasta comes dry, and when you cook, you will, or you break, or you will find all the
The strings.
yeah, perfect. You want to try?
I'd love to try.
You just need to press very, very strong. And then, so, like that.
And here, what happens again?
Yeah, press.
One on top of the other.
Yeah, yeah, one on top of the other, and press really strong. Fantastic.
I managed! Yay!
I already lost my
First
job.
time you've done that?
You don't need me
The
anymore.
first one. I've never made these actually.
Brava.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andrea.
That means I'm good teacher.
Of course, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to have you give me one of these.
Oh, the cantuccini.
I wish Zoom could create like a scent button so we could all smell that.
I know. It's, oh my goodness, look at these. Wow.
Bring it in, Zoom.
Ready.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Maybe not this one, but
Really nice. Andrea, should I continue here?
yes, please. Just make just three more.
Okay.
We just keep. We make it cooler a little bit, and then we cut. Don't make cold the cantuccini. Just warm before to cut.
Okay. And how long will, like, when,
Yeah,
just wait a little bit.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes.
This is actually very fun.
It's like make me relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 things in the kitchen that I like to make to relax myself, like make a bread dome, tortelli,
Nice.
and grissini. It's another thing I like to do.
Oh, I love your grissini. They're just perfect. They have that taste of butter, but not too much, crunchy. Mm.
Oh, you're so making me hungry.
Sorry.
No, that's a good job.
I love the color. It's so yellow and real. Fantastic. Great.
You can go and cook the tortellini and directly serve on the cream. So we don't make any sauce because we already have the green pea sauce. Just a little bit of oil, and then a little bit of water.
How long for the?
Very, very quickly. Maybe 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Is there a special way of cutting them?
I make how do you call it? Diagonale.
In diagonal.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. As if you were cutting bread.
Yeah. Maybe it's too hot. It's too hot. If you see it's a little bit too wet, we just make it dry in the oven again.
Okay. It looks amazing. Have you always loved cooking, Andrea, since you were?
I started, actually, I didn't start very, very young. It was like 15, but what made me think about becoming a chef was the way we was leaving the table at home. Okay. I remember when I was younger, when I was kids, people around the table was always happy.
No.
And laughed and talked, and you know, so I say, I need to make something, you know.
Contribute.
How can I live around here?
Keep people there. Look at this. Wow.
Should we do a close-up?
Absolutely.
Let me come to you.
Oh, gorgeous. Perfect.
I don't know if you can see, but we can almost see the white of the ricotta inside. That means the pasta it's thin enough. It's thin how I like.
That looks delicious.
Okay, let me make something a little bit more elegant for tonight. So, that's it.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Okay, one more.
So this is what guests are in store for when they visit Elboro.
This is done. It's very like 30 minutes, we almost finish a menu. I told you when you have the right ingredients, everything is easy. You don't need to spend too long in the kitchen. Just cook and have fun together. So yes. This is the secret ingredients.
Well, it really looks perfect. It's so delicate. Ideal for everybody, really.
Agreed.
Vegetarian dish as well, so fantastic.
Beautiful, wonderful.
No. No, thanks. So yeah, this is done. I hope you have a great time. I really enjoyed, and I'm really proud, honestly, because it's an honor for me to talk with all of you, and I hope you had a little taste of our Elboro estate and farm.
Absolutely. We'll be waiting for everybody for these kinds of experiences and various others to explore the property and explore everything that we're about. Starting from the medieval village with its history, there's really a lot of complexity to our property, and so it's an interesting experience to get people away, I think, from what we've all been going through, and you know, get our minds detached a little bit from everything we've been going through. So here we are. Can't wait to welcome everybody.
Wait for you. No, we can't wait.
Actually, Vittoria, what would you say are the 3 most important things that you're proud to have achieved at Elboro?
Well, I have to say that for me to have become organic is very important. I've always been a huge nature lover and animal lover, and for me, the family property breeds this and works like this every day, and everything we do is a huge satisfaction. So when we reached this in 2015, for me, it was a huge accomplishment. Then I have to say our meeting Andrea and working with Andrea and having Andrea part of our team here at Borro has also been fantastic. And for our restaurants, Borro Toscana, Tuscan Bistro to become international. We have a Borro Tuscan Bistro also in Dubai. That we are very happy about, and this has been a fantastic accomplishment as well. Along with that, I really wouldn't know how to choose between being part of Relais Chateau and the evolution of the wine business. Being part of Relais Chateau is also very nice because it's something that implements what we believe in. So the connection to the terroir, sustainability, discovering one's surroundings, and so that also for me has been a fantastic accomplishment. And of course the wine. So I've said a lot, but really they're all very important. Absolutely. I first came to the Borro when I was only 6 years old with my father hunting. So I've really grown up here and seeing all the steps that we've made through the years. It's fantastic. It's when I think back how everything has changed and bettered and everything. It's a huge satisfaction. Absolutely.
Well, I have so enjoyed joining you, and thank you so much to both of you for this experience. I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot just watching. So thank you so much for taking the time tonight. And yes, I mean, I can't wait to visit. I'm sure that everybody watching can't wait to visit as well. So June 1st.
We're here. We can't wait to have you. And Laura, I'd love to meet you in person. Here at Elboro, and it's been a huge pleasure to be with you tonight, and all of the followers of All Living, and so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Glad to share all of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.